John Heat, Kevin Kogan, Man Cave Classroom, again, analyzing from some documents from the Reconstruction era. I like these, especially when it comes to analyzing the Wade Davis bill that we analyze in class and the 10% plan. However, we're looking at legal language that can often be a problem when it comes to it registering in your brain. I like these documents, and I feel that when it comes to that, you analyze them together.
The compare and contrast.
Because it's definitely the compare and contrast here. So we're going to look at the 10% plan, and then of course, when we're looking at Johnson's plan, and of course, we're looking at Lincoln's plan compared to Andrew Johnson's plan.
Yep.
So in terms of that, the 10% plan, Lincoln was going to allow 10% of the population to take an oath of allegiance to the unions. This way, they can return back into the United States, and 10% of each state's population had to do that.
Yeah, and if you did that, you would be granted amnesty.
Yep.
A forgiveness for all of your crimes and sins, treason that they committed.
The state was allowed to participate in government again.
Yeah, but so basically, like, Lincoln really doesn't want much punishment going on.
Right.
He wants our nation to heal.
He wants everybody to come back together.
He wants those wounds to heal. So, all right.
Now, the Wade Davis bill, something that we brought up before, when it came to that, the Wade Davis bill, they wanted drastic punishment.
Anybody who participated in the rebellion,
right, so
was going to be punished.
They wanted
Lincoln only was only going to be like just the leaders,
right,
can't be forgiven, but anybody that was like below the rank of colonel,
right, yep,
could be forgiven. So
let's take a look at this one, and we'll probably add in some more historical context. So just looking at the setting right here, great scenery, a room filled with men.
Yeah, just a room. Could be a room anywhere.
Wood. Very, very bare bones, no fancy chairs.
I do notice
no
that these individuals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they all seem to be dressed in a similar manner.
Yep.
With these buttons coming down their coats.
I'm going to say that these are military uniforms
patches,
as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some sort of military uniform.
There's certainly a military presence there. And then, all eyes go right to the center of this guy right here, raising his right hand.
It almost looks like he also has his right hand, and I'd imagine if there was audio here,
right,
he's probably speaking,
yep,
and he's probably repeating.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe it or not, I actually just learned why we raise our right hand.
Oh,
when we're swearing oath, whether we're taking the stand.
Okay.
Because in the Middle Ages, and the time period of like England and the Magna Carta and courts, and if you were a liar, the letter H would be burned onto your hand.
Oh, jeez.
So much like the scarlet letter, like people who committed adultery, the letter H would be burned onto your hand. I'm sorry, L for liar.
L for liar.
L for liar. And therefore, if you were taking an oath, you'd have to prove that you weren't a liar, because if you did have that letter L, then the testimony you're about to give might not be considered the truth. So that's where the custom of raising your hand.
That is cool. And of course, down here it says taking the oath of allegiance.
So this man's probably taking it, and this guy
taking a list of names.
Who are you? Kevin Kogan. All right, swear your oath of allegiance, and it will be recorded that you have taken the oath.
Now, this is a big deal because students look at that and they go, oh, "That's all you have to do." Well, you don't always have to comply, or you can lie or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is a big deal. You have a room. You're doing this in front of other people. You're giving your word. You have witnesses. This is a much more bigger deal than I think people make of it.
So now that we know what's going on, probably a courtroom.
Right.
We're probably somewhere in a courthouse where this legal oath is being administered.
So if I'm looking at taking the oath of allegiance, we're talking about in the same breath of Lincoln's 10% plan. This is what Lincoln's 10% plan looks like.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy. You guys take an oath of allegiance, to the United States. You can now re-enter. We have military officials present just to make sure this is legit, just to make sure that there's no problems, just to make sure that everybody is complying with.
And when we broke down Lincoln's 10% plan, it said it would be recorded, and you had to live up to that oath.
Right.
That if you ever violate it, then we will charge you with all the crimes that you had committed during the Civil War.
Now, here's the thing. Lincoln's not here. Lincoln is not here. Again, we're talking about a very, very simplistic room, and you don't have the president here. Yeah. Now, I say that because now we go to the next one. Wow, this is much different.
Much fancier room.
So we have President Andrew Johnson pardoning rebels at the White House.
Oh, so we are in the White House. I could tell. We have a really big bookshelf,
much
fancy
fancier.
curtains, fancy chandelier. There's some sort of painting over here
Right.
that I'm sure would be a painting of maybe Washington,
Of course.
or actually probably Andrew Jackson, knowing Andrew Johnson.
Sure, absolutely. And since you're bringing up Andrew Jackson,
Yeah.
you know, when you're looking at Inauguration Day when Andrew Jackson gets into office, you know, this is somebody that Andrew Johnson admired. You know, Andrew Jackson's inauguration at the White House, I mean, it was like a big college party.
Yeah.
He had to actually get out the back, and this kind of reminds me of that. Not that I was there, but you know, when you're looking at images, that this is one of the things that it kind of reminds me of. So, you know, again, front and center, there's Andrew Johnson, shaking hands with people.
Yeah, so basically Johnson's plan was you had to come to the White House and beg forgiveness.
Right.
You know, and he would forgive you. It was like the most lenient of all the plans for Reconstruction. And in fact, you almost see here this man taking his hand, not shaking his hand, but taking his hand in a way that he's almost going to bow down,
Right.
and almost like kiss the ring.
And when you're even looking right here, it seems like a very simple formality. It's just right over here, okay? You don't have people raising their right hand. You know, if you look here, you know, all attention seems to be on this person, making sure he says each and every single word, where it's like right here, it's like, all right.
And a lot more people here,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Looks like a cocktail party.
signifying, but also signifying the fact that Johnson was just going to forgive everybody.
Oh, yeah.
As long
Absolutely.
as long as he rubbed your nose in it, as long as you came and begged him personally for forgiveness.
Right. Good one. Love the scenery. You know, even if you look at them side to side, it's just, there is quite a difference.
You know, and even like with oops, sorry, I got it. Even with this one, like we do have well-dressed individuals here,
Yeah.
but like this guy really jumps out at me.
Yeah.
You know, with the pinstripes, that fancy hat, as if almost these were the very plantation
I was
owners.
just thinking the same thing when you
You
brought
know,
that up, when you're looking at the
Who
attire.
were the very plantation owners who had enslaved those 3.9 million slaves during the Civil War.
A lot of them are dressed pretty fancy when you think of it. as
Yeah, not saying that these guys aren't,
well. Right.
but this guy doesn't strike me as a plantation owner just the way he's dressed here.
Same.
You know, maybe a business owner, maybe did participate in
Merchant,
rebellion
yeah.
in some way,
Sure.
but definitely, especially that hat, like that tip, that
The bow or ribbon or
straw
whatever.
hat,
Yep.
and I'm reminded of Django Unchained and the character that Leonardo DiCaprio played.
All right, cool. Anything else we need with this one?
No.
I love this. I mean, this is great because now, you know, that Lincoln's plan and Johnson's plan, you definitely see, you know, the drastic difference
Yeah.
between the two. All right, awesome. Thanks for watching.